You would think that this beardless member of the famous Duck Dynasty clan would follow in his family's footsteps.
John Luke and Mary Kate will be heading off to college soon, so Si and I decided to come over and help them pack.
What is that thing behind you?
It's a paddleboard.
What's it good for?
That defines who he is.
This is who I am.
No.
Yeah.
No.
John Luke Robertson, the oldest son of Willie and Corey Robertson, headed off to college to figure out his own dreams and goals. In his book, Young and Beardless, he shares wild stories of the Robertson escapades and how lessons from home set him on the right path toward dominating his future.
Well, welcome to the show, cousins. It's good to have you here. It's nice to see you in person.
It is great to be here.
Let's talk about your love story. I understand you met at camp.
We did.
And then you shared chemistry class together, and there seems to be some chemistry.
There is.
But then I understand there was a text message involved. What was that?
There was so I liked her. She didn't particularly like me the same way that I liked her. And at some point...
Is that true, or is she just hiding it?
Well, I mean, I kind of liked him a little bit.
I know, but I knew she did. I knew she did. She just wouldn't admit it. And at some point, I got a text that said that you did like me. You want to talk? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
I'm sure it is, yeah. And so I came home, and that's when we had our talk. And then Mary Kate said that she had never dated anyone, and she didn't want to date anyone until she found the one that she would marry, and that she would date me. And I thought, wow, all right, well, we're getting married then. And
from the first meeting?
From there. And
wow.
Then,
that's...
What, 9 months after that, I proposed, and then 9 months after that, we got married.
Well, what do you say to people who say you're too young?
I think we have seen, in our family, we've seen, my parents got married at 19 and 18. Their marriage is working out pretty well.
Yeah.
Her parents got married at 39 and 32, so total opposite of the spectrum. Their marriage is working out pretty well. And we've also had people even in our own family who got married young, whose marriage ended in divorce, and who got married old and whose marriage ended in divorce. And so we'd like to say, like, we've seen, everything. And whatever it is that is keeping marriages together, it's not when the marriage happens. It's based on something else. And we believe that's based on God, and that's what our marriage is based on, so we think it's going to work.
Well, you're going to get the privilege of raising each other. I mean,
exactly.
It's going to be great. You're going to get to together find out who you are.
And it's a lot more fun than dating.
And you get to have kids, you get to have that whole discovery. That changes everything.
Yeah.
And so take your time with that. What did your parents say when they found out?
I think that, like John Luke said, I hadn't dated anyone. I had been just kind of holding off, and I'd kind of told God, I know that you have someone out there for me, and I don't want to settle for anything less than that. And so my parents had seen me stay single and remain single, and so I think they already expected whoever Mary Kate chooses to start dating, I feel
that'll be
it's
the
going to
one.
work out. That's going to be the one. And so I think they were already kind of preparing for that. And so when John Luke came around.
Why did you resolve to do that? That's actually very unusual today.
Well, my dad was actually my youth group teacher, and there was this whole lesson that he taught on, and it was called God Gives His Best to Those Who Leave the Choice with Him. And so for me, I was just at the age where in high school, it was somewhere junior high school, but I was at the age where that was a big thing. Dating was all my friends were dating, and that was just the time when I was I'm going to apply this concept to my dating world, and so just what happened.
And it worked out.
Yeah.
It did.
And it's great. You've got a book out, Young and Beardless, and I'd just like to remind people that you're the New Testament version of a Robertson. That Old Testament stuff is all gone away. You've got the New Covenant.
Amen to that.
How in the world do you find time to do this? I mean, you're writing your book, you're starting a business, you're going to college, you're getting married, you're doing a lot of things, and you can say each one of them could take your full attention.
Yeah.
But here you are coming out with a book. How did you get the time to do it?
It was a long process. I mean, it was probably 2 years of, thinking and planning about it and writing it, and I had lots of help. And, it wasn't easy. There were lots of late nights and early mornings, and it was just prioritizing and getting things done and making lists and just doing it. I mean,
What started it?
It started.
2-year process. That's a long one to stick with it for that period of time.
Right.
That's a big deal. So what motivated you?
It really started way back when I was 14. And a mentor of mine told me to write down everything that I hear, everything that inspires me. So I did. So pretty much every sermon I ever heard or anything that inspired me for, 6 years, I wrote it down. And then until I had just a really big box. So writing the book, it came a lot from that box. So it wasn't necessarily hard because I wasn't starting from scratch. I just took all that and condensed it. And then I lived it for a year and then wrote about as I lived it. So like starting the business, getting married, all of those things, I wrote about them as they were happening. So it wasn't that like writing the book and business, school, life, everything was separate. They were kind of one and the same. I was writing about it as I was living it.
You call it the toolkit, but these are things that you've put away, and then a lot of toolkits like mine sits in the garage. When things are broken, I bring it out.
Right.
But you're saying use it every day, use it
Right.
in what you do, and live purposefully.
Right.
For you, what are the major tools you go to every day?
I think there's a few things that I have that that run through my mind every day. A few verses, like there's that verse in Ecclesiastes 11, maybe 12, and it talks about remember the Creator in the days of your youth, and for everything you will be judged. So I think about that, and like before I do really anything, I think, okay, like I'm young and God wants me to live a full life, but I also got to remember that He's judging me for whatever I'm doing. So I think about that. Another thing I keep in mind is The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. It was a book that I constantly try to think of, okay, like listen first. I try to think like, make sure I get my rest. And I think of those. So those are some of the things that I have in my toolkit that I try to think about and live out daily.
Ecclesiastes, that's a deep dive. I didn't get in that until I was in my 30s. So if you're living your life now according to that, you're being very purposeful. Well, what's the dream? What are you trying to achieve?
That is an interesting question, because the entire book is about accomplishing the dream. And I think that 2 years ago, I would have given you get married, start a business, go to college. I would have given you a big list and a good plan on how I was planning on doing it. But now, 2 years later, I'm kind of in the starting over phase, because I've accomplished a lot of things, and I've failed at a lot of things that I wanted to do. So right now, the big dream is not anything specific, but it's just to love Mary Kate, have a good marriage, be good at school, and go and live life.
Okay.
And I'm starting over. I'm starting a new toolkit. I'm starting a new adventure.
And that's part of life, that you get to start over. You get to, and the great thing is you're starting out young. What you're doing is building a platform so that when you dream again, you're starting at a whole different level.
Right.
And you're starting at a level, yes, failures, but also successes. And what can you build on? What can you dream of again? And I think that's a life lesson for everybody. For me, I've started over a couple times. and each one, okay, how can I dream bigger? Because God's a big God.
Yeah.
And what does He want to do? And can I be part of His plan? Not my plan, not what I want to do, but can I be part of His plan? And when you put those things into perspective, boy, it gets really easy. What's your dream?
I think right now my dream is still just like we're in our first year of marriage and just making our marriage like the best it can be, and like being the best wife I can be, and just seeing like, just kind of walking with God daily right now and just seeing what He wants me to do and like what He has in store for me.
What's your major?
I'm in women's leadership.
That's a good major for you.
I really like it a lot, I do.
I think you're going to go far. I think it's going to be great. It's great to see people start with purpose, live life with purpose. If you want to get your own toolkit, And if you're looking for that perfect graduation gift, look no further. John Luke's book is called Young and Beardless, and it's available wherever books are sold. And it's wonderful having you with us. And come back again.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Okay.